Hi, my name is Kim Lyons, Executive Director at Sin-Law Pregnancy Center, and I'm here today with Tracy Lyons, my sister-in-law. We're here today to talk about the A word, adoption, something that we often do not speak about and something that a lot of people don't know a lot about. Now, at the Pregnancy Center, we are not an adoption agency, but we can make referrals, and it's a very important situation that really deserves the time spent on educating our community and educating our clients often about the option of adoption. So we have Tracy with us today, who has a beautiful story, and I've just invited her in to be with us today and share with us a little bit about her adoption story. Tracy?
Hi, I'm Tracy Lyons. 25 years ago, I found myself in a crisis pregnancy, unplanned pregnancy, and didn't really know where I was going to go with that, what my life was going to look like. And throughout the course of my pregnancy, the option of adoption came up, and I explored that option, decided on an open adoption, and placed my son for an open adoption 24 years ago.
24. And so his name is Reed.
Yes.
And so he's 24 years old.
24.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. So tell me a little bit about the moment that you actually gave birth to him and what that experience was like, and you know, the selfless act of actually giving him and handing him to them.
So when I gave birth to him, there was not very many people who knew about adoption, knew how to handle that. The nurses were very hesitant to bring me the baby and let me see him and hold him. Are you sure? Are you sure you want to see him? Yes, I'm sure. So that was never, I did not want to be the person who gave birth and never put eyes on my child again. So it's very important to me to spend as much time with him as possible in those early days before his adoption. And then 6 days later, I signed the papers and could hand him over, and I wanted to be the one to do that. So we had a ceremony, we had a prayer service with a priest, and I handed him over to his new parents. At the time, it did not feel selfless. I see that now. I see that it was all for him. At the time, I'm going to be honest, it definitely felt selfish and like I was doing what was good for me, but really it was what was good for him. There was not a loving two-parent home for him to go home to, and he got that with adoption. He got a wonderful set of parents and a great life.
Mm-hmm. And the journey through his childhood was a gift to you, that you were able to experience some portions of that. You were able to go and go to some of his sporting events, and I recall there being a part that just makes my heart so happy to know that his adopted parents kind of adopted you as well.
For sure.
And just kind of grew with you as Reed grew. Tell us a little bit about that.
For sure. There was a special bond that his mother and I developed, and she mothered me, I feel like, through those years in the early stages as much as she mothered Reed, and she allowed me to heal and to grow with their family. It was beautiful, and I couldn't have asked for better.
And I know, in the midst of that, you could not have ever foreseen the beauty of how the Lord worked and placed them in your life and kept Reed in your life. And, fast forward to the year that everything unfolded. And I know that was scary, but some beautiful things have come. So you want to share a little bit about that time, whenever you found out?
He discovered.
Yeah.
So he asked his dad to tell him about his birth parents, and because I had been a part of his life since the beginning, his dad said, "You know her? Can you guess who it is?" And he guessed that it was me, and he knew my kids, and his shock and happiness of that he had 2 siblings, and he was very excited about that. And then we went to one of his races. He was in high school, and I knew there was going to be a moment where I was going to see him and he was going to see me, and we knew. And so I had to tell my kids about it. They knew him, but they didn't know who he was. So I had to tell my kids, and everyone was very excited that they had a new sibling.
Yeah. That's a really cool part of this whole story. And if you're not aware, there's a lot more to this story. I'm going to get you to pick up one of these books. How old was Reed whenever you started writing this book?
Oh,
because he had already
18. He already knew. 18, maybe 19. So I probably started 4 or 5 years ago writing
so
it.
tell us about the Lord's prompting on your heart to go down this path of something that you would have never thought yourself to do.
So after I went through a period of healing and forgiveness for myself, and the Lord started giving me words, and I worked a retreat, and I was like, oh, I'm supposed to give my testimony. That's what these words are. So I did, and then afterwards he kept giving me more words, and I was like, I've already done this. What are you doing? And it just kept being on my heart to write it all down and get it out and heal through it. And it definitely was a healing process to write down everything that happened and how it happened and how good God has been to me.
So the outcome is this amazing, beautifully written story of Tracy's journey through an unplanned pregnancy, through Reed's adoption, through Reed's coming into this family with Tracy and Jimmy and their two children, Cody and Millie. And so the name of the book is Joy Out of Sorrow, a birth mother's journey of healing through his mercy. And so if you would like to purchase this book, it's on Amazon. And how else can they purchase the book?
It's also, I believe, at Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Walmart, Target, or at westbopress.com, which is the publisher.
The publisher, yeah. And so it's a very easy read, and it's a beautiful story. And we're so thankful at the Pregnancy Center to know that Tracy's willing to share her story, because we know that there are others who have been impacted by adoption. Several of our friends either were adopted or have adopted, and we really hope to kind of remove the taboo nature of the whole journey of adoption, because it is truly a beautiful experience, even though it comes with a lot of heartache and a lot of hardship. But with the Lord journeying through these stories, even though you didn't even realize during some of that time that you were being carried through, we just know that there's really great things to come for some people who may be faced with a really hard decision, and families out there who are seeking, who really are journeying through their own difficult season, maybe who are having difficulties conceiving. So again, at the Pregnancy Center, we're not an adoption agency, but we fully support and educate in all the aspects of life, including adoption. So to learn more, you can reach out to us at Sin-Law Pregnancy Center. To reach out to Tracy, you can, first of all, you can purchase her beautiful book and read her story, and she would be available to speak in the future as well. So thank y'all for listening, and did you have anything else you wanted to share?
No, that's good.
All right.
Thank you.